You mentioned your efforts that significantly increased Sabres game night engagement. Would you share what increased those?
I think the fact that there was nothing in place beforehand. If there was an estimation, I would, without sounding too pompous, I think it's 100% or above, because I think you can only get better with nothing. I believe, and there's proof all over social media from a year and a half ago to now, that our reach has gone exponentially up for Sabres game nights. I feel like I have a good grasp on that. I'm able to reach a lot of different demographics with the way I tweet, and I know what works, I know what doesn't. So for an estimation, I think it's 100% or above, because frankly, we were at zero.
What is your favorite aspect of working in the sports industry?
You never really know what you're going to be talking about on a given day. It's a lot like news. You have a general idea, but things can happen in a blink of an eye, and you got to be ready for breaking news at any given moment in time. Like, I'll go back to a Sabres instance. Phil Housley getting fired on a Sunday. I wasn't asked to come in for that, but we had 2, 3, 4 hosts, an anchor, and a producer come in to do a live show on a whim when there was nothing scheduled, because the greater area of Buffalo is relying on us to be there when news like that breaks. The Jeff Skinner trade from Carolina Hurricanes to the Buffalo Sabres in August. That was a Friday. That may have been a Saturday even. There's not any local live programming scheduled, but people have to come in. It's much like a newsroom, where you really don't know what a day could bring, because things can change like that. So I think it's nice to always sort of be kept on your toes and not being so vanilla every day.
Do you have any concerns relocating from New York to Florida?
Not too much, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this interview. I have moved 4 different times already in my life with my family, from New Hampshire, 3 times in New Jersey, and then into Pennsylvania. I've been living in Buffalo here for the better part of 6 years now, between dorming as an undergraduate and remaining here in the area for the position I currently have. And plus, I think it'll be a seamless transition were you to hire me, because I also have family in the area of St. Petersburg that would be a nice security blanket for me should I be heading down there.
What is your greatest strength?
I think attention to detail. Admittedly, it can be a strength and a weakness. It gets me in trouble sometimes, because the sports industry, and especially the sports media industry, is pretty quick moving, as I mentioned. News can kind of sweep you up. So occasionally it gets me in trouble, but I think my desire to get the story right and fill it with facts really goes a long way.
What is your glaring weakness, and how can you make it become a strength?
Attention to detail, again, I guess could work in both ways. You got to know when to pick your battles. If it's a fast-moving news day and you need a story out, or you need a tweet out just for the sake of getting a tweet out so people are engaged on social media or to the website, then attention to detail isn't always as important. So it can work as a weakness in that regard too. You need to know when to fill, when to get the meat and potatoes out there to the reader and the consumer, and when to pull back just so something's out there, and then fill it back with the information that you have and have compiled later on.
What makes you interesting in this position?
I'll go back to passion again, quite honestly. I have an enormous love for the game of baseball. I don't care if it's Major League Baseball, minor league baseball. I don't care what team, the Seattle Mariners, the Washington Nationals, the Texas Rangers. I have just an enormous amount of love for the game, and an appreciation for the history, and a love for the history, and just I feel like it's like, I don't want to call it a rat race, but I'm always yearning for more. I'm buying books, reading articles, subscribe to The Athletic, because I just love the information that readers and sports analysts and even players, the Players Tribune, XYZ, stuff like that. There's so much that the sport can offer you, and if I was able to get my foot in the door in any way, then I think I would take that opportunity to run.
Finally, how would you describe your coaching and leadership style?
Observant. I think I do a good job of assessing a situation or just an overall workplace and making adjustments or keeping the status quo off of that. I'm a selfless person when it comes to that regard. I look out for others before I look out for myself. And were I to be in a leadership role or overseeing something like a digital partnership and really having a reach in social media, I would make sure that my team is accommodated for before myself, because their well-being makes the machine go. They're the cogs. Without one cog happy, without two cogs really satisfied with their position, then the machine can't operate effectively.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to hearing from you.